Coming up on Mountain News this morning, Laurel County officials are investigating after a person was found dead inside a burning vehicle. Plus, it's an event to encourage children to love reading. We'll show you how one school celebrated in Hazard.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Welcome to Mountain News this morning. I'm Neely Green, live on air here with you this morning, Wednesday, March 5th. The time is now 5:32, excuse me. And let's check in with meteorologist Megan Desmond for a look at your forecast this morning. Megan, it may just be Monday 4.0 again.
Well, I thought there might be something wrong with your prompter because on the top of my camera it says it's 7 p.m.
Oh, it does say that.
Yeah,
oh, wow.
So I don't know what's up with that. I guess it's 7 p.m. this morning. But no, yeah, definitely another one of those. Kind of feels like Monday days. But the good news, at least when you're starting off your day, it's kind of great weather. We're talking 60s in the forecast. Looks like the time updated. Yeah, 5:33 this morning. But we're seeing those 60s, and by the afternoon, a mixture of the 70s are into play. You'll notice for our more northwestern counties, we have a mixture of the low to mid 70s. That's because that's where the higher chance of rain is. So if you're in those slightly cooler temperature regions, expect a slightly higher chance of rain. However, those folks on the southern and eastern side are looking mostly dry for today, which will allow them to warm into a mixture of the mid to upper 70s. Something to keep in mind. Speaking of that rain, here's what we're looking at right now. Again, nice and dry, but as we zoom ourselves out, we're watching as that rain is in portions of Carbondale, Owensboro, and making its way to Louisville. We'll see that here in eastern Kentucky by the time we're heading into the afternoon. Neely.
Thank you, Megan. We begin this morning with breaking news. One person is dead after a vehicle fire in Laurel County. East Bernstadt Fire and Rescue says crews were called to El Gabbard Road near Rockcastle County just before 3 yesterday afternoon to a car fire with a person possibly trapped inside. When firefighters arrived, the vehicle was fully engulfed in flames. Crews were able to get into the vehicle where they found one person dead. Officials say they're not releasing the victim's identity at this time as the investigation continues. A man accused of killing his neighbor in Pulaski County last year is back in court today. James Edward Gleason is scheduled for a pretrial conference. He's charged with murder, possession of a handgun by a felon, first-degree wanton endangerment, and intimidating a participant in the legal process. He was arraigned in December. Today's hearing is part of the process as the case moves towards trial. People in Danville are mourning a young man killed in a car crash on Tuesday. 27-year-old Michael Mingy was involved in a crash on US 127. He died at the hospital, and those who knew Mingy say he left his mark on Boyle County. They say he'll be remembered for helping others and being involved in the community.
I think it makes for a really strong community if you have that kind of person. And again, it's beyond political, it's beyond a lot of the other social issues that we seem to divide ourselves, is to have an individual like that just pretty much loves everyone in the community.
A Danville restaurant honored Mingy's memory by donating a portion of their sales yesterday to his family. Pike County's governing body met Tuesday night during the regular fiscal court meeting, revisiting a vote from a special called meeting last week. WYMT's Buddy Forbes has more from the standing room only crowd.
There is a motion to re-vote on this.
The Pike County Fiscal Court entertained a second vote Tuesday to breach a controversial contract with American Land Reserve LLC, which would have allowed the company to explore the viability of planting a landfill in the Myra community.
50 jobs for the potential ecological disaster that could occur from said landfill just doesn't seem like a good trade.
Judge Executive Ray Jones held his stance, voting against the decision as the county's 3 commissioners voted to cancel the contract. Jones argues the move is a step back for the county, claiming it was the most economically sensible solution to address the rapidly filling landfill.
Water bills just went up, the power bills just went up, so I guess the garbage bills will probably go up too. I'm trying to avoid that, but that's not an option folks are wanting to look at.
After the vote, Jones asked the commissioners how they would address the landfill crisis now that the partnership is off the table.
I think that we've got, probably 5-6 years
Yeah, but you can't wait till then.
Commissioner Freddie Lewis says he saw another state using an industrial shredder to save on space. But he told Jones he did not look into whether that is possible for the county based on state regulations.
No, I mean, we was just looking at options.
Well,
you know.
we have looked at all the options, and I've given them to you.
The meeting presented the first opportunity for public comment about the situation, where more than 20 people signed up to share their concerns, thanking the commissioners for going back on their original votes.
I hope moving forward, regardless if we decide to put a landfill in Pike County or bring in an outside company, that we're involved in it. We can make decisions together moving forward.
Jones voiced his disappointment with how the community responded, saying the company was never given a chance to speak publicly about the plans, which community members suggested he should have had them do before the court signed the agreement in the first place.
I don't have a crystal ball. Maybe it would, maybe it would not have made a difference. I think some people had their mind made up as soon as they heard the word landfill.
He says that is not how business deals of that magnitude are done, and he fears the public backlash surrounding the project will make other companies less interested in planting operations in the county.
I'm worried that this is going to have a detrimental impact.
But some community members believe it sends a different message.
I hope that this agreement gets struck down tonight sends a message to everyone else out there that this ain't the same Appalachia that you're dealing with. We're educated, we know things that's going on, and we're here to stand up for our family.
In Pike County, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
Community members say though this battle is seemingly over, they hope the public will keep showing up to meetings and become more involved in the day-to-day operations of the people elected to represent them. 2 years ago, a study was conducted with the Army Corps of Engineers showing that if they build a canal east of Clay City in Pike County, it would divert part of the Red River flood waters and dump the overflow into the Kentucky River by saving nearby properties. The Deputy Director of Emergency Management says the project was moving forward through FEMA funding, but last year that grant was rescinded.
We would have to come up with over $400,000 for a cost analysis feasibility study for the canal itself before we start seeking grant funding for the actual canal, which could cost in excess of $20 million, which Powell County does not have.
He says residents have endured millions of dollars of flood damage since the 1970s, and a resolution should have already been in place. But characters of all kinds came to life yesterday. Volunteers visited Roy G. Eversole in Hazard as part of Read Across America, reading a kid's book of their choice. Many community members participated along with students from Hazard High School. Family Resource Director Tammy Feltner says this celebration means a lot to those at the school.
It's a great thing. All the kids love it. We love it. We love having people be able to come in our building and just have a good time with our kids.
High school student Riley Sizemore says she was excited to read to the children and remembers being their age and loving when visitors read to her class. She also says she looks forward to one day being a teacher herself. Kentucky lawmakers say they are focused on pushing energy-related bills through this year's legislative session. Senate Bill 8 would change the makeup of the agency that oversees rate changes. Senator Brandon Smith, who's sponsoring the bill, says it would increase the Public Service Commission from 3 to 5 members.
We want to have more, and we want to have it diverse, and we want to have them paid, and we want them to have the technology to be able to tackle and represent Kentucky in the best way.
Kentucky's Public Service Commission spokesperson says they do not have a comment on the bill at this time. The Appalachian Citizens Law says they have a problem with part of the bill they claim would prevent their representation of ratepayer interest. President Trump met with leaders of tech giants, including Google, Meta, and OpenAI, to formalize an agreement aimed at protecting consumers from rising electricity costs. As he signs the agreement at the White House Wednesday, the president said big tech companies are committing to fully cover the cost of increased electric production needed for the massive data centers that artificial intelligence requires. President Trump also said the companies would add capacity to the electric grid where possible. During this legislative session, lawmakers in West Virginia have been debating whether high school athletes should be allowed to transfer freely between schools. A law passed in 2023 opened the door for players to move without sitting out a year, something some lawmakers now call a free-for-all and the Wild West. Tuesday, the House of Delegates passed a bill that would fully repeal that law and go back to the old rules where players could only transfer before their freshman year or back to their home school over the summer unless their family moved.
But we can't have the free-for-all like we currently have now. The rich are getting richer and the poor are getting very, very poor.
The bill now heads to the state Senate, where it will need enough support there before it can make its way to Governor Patrick Morrisey's desk. A legal battle is underway for Justin Timberlake. That and more on a look of today's Eye on Entertainment.
And we're tracking chances for strong to severe storms as we're heading into this weekend.